Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to head back down to the dumpster fire that is New Mexico, because last week, after Governor Michell Lujan Grisham, got the pronunciation right. Thank you to all my viewers down in New Mexico for correcting me on that. But after the good governor got a wicked smackdown last week by the courts, did she just, back off like all of her political proponents were suggesting? No, she doubled down, shaved off just a couple little bits of the order because she knows what's best. Well, obviously, that has many in New Mexico completely upset about this, and for good reason. And so now the impeachment process has begun. Let's talk about what it takes. Let's talk about, can it actually happen? Let's talk about, are the votes even there? So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about, is New Mexico going to impeach their governor? Okay, so this is what we're talking about today, and that is the newly launched effort by two Republican representatives in the state of New Mexico to move forward with the impeachment of Governor Michell Lujan Grisham. Of course, this is done because the good governor decided through executive fiat that she knew what was best and suspended the Second Amendment rights of hundreds of thousands of otherwise lawful and responsible New Mexican residents because, well, like I said, the governor knows what's best. Now, despite the fact that the courts absolutely smacked her down, despite the fact that there were multiple people typically in the civilian disarmament crowd that was telling the governor, hey, you probably went a little too far. Hey, despite the fact that even CNN was challenging her on this, the governor, after she got the beat down from the court, all she really did was peel back a couple of components of her order and leave it in place. Now, that has led to additional court challenges, which we will be covering in other videos. What I want to talk about today, though, is the fact that Representative John Black and Representative Stephanie Lord of New Mexico have both now started a petition for the impeachment of Governor Grisham. Now, if any of you watching in New Mexico are interested in signing that petition, that's the link right there for it, and we will link it up also in the description box. Now, this website is a full self-service opportunity for you because they have also included in there a proposed letter which you can send to all of the representatives and senators in New Mexico, including those that have D's next to their name. The proposed letter that Representatives Black and Lord are suggesting reads as follows. Dear legislator, Governor Michell Lujan Grisham violated her oath to uphold the Constitution by taking away our rights as citizens to exercise our Second Amendment. The governor's attacks on our rights and her oath, claiming they are not absolute, warrant her impeachment. As a New Mexico voter, I ask you to uphold your oath to the Constitution and sign and mail back to the Legislative Council Services the certification form to initiate an extraordinary session for impeachment of Governor Michell Lujan Grisham. If you do not do so, it will be assumed you support her lawless, unconstitutional actions, which means you are complicit also. Thank you for upholding the Constitution and the oath you swore to it. And again, I don't try to put words in people's mouth. If you believe that that is the correct message to send to your state legislatures, I will defer to you. I probably would have removed some of the veiled threats in there that you are complicit in it. I think you want to focus on what the governor has done to your constitutional rights. Now, there's a couple things that were mentioned in that letter, and this is what I really want to get to, which is what is the likelihood that the state of New Mexico is actually going to impeach their governor? Well, it's actually probably somewhere between slim and none. You see, because in order to actually conduct an impeachment inquiry, it would require that the New Mexico state legislature call what's called an extraordinary session. Most states call them special sessions. Down in New Mexico, you call them extraordinary sessions. It can only be called one of two ways. One, the governor could call it, and she's already stated she will not do that. And I can understand you're not going to call an extraordinary session to impeach yourself. The only other way that an extraordinary session can be called is that 2/3 of the representatives and senators in the state of New Mexico have to call for it. And the likelihood of that occurring is pretty remote. You want to know what else is pretty remote? What's pretty remote here is the fact that this impeachment process is going to be successful, because currently, as you take a look at both the New Mexico House of Representatives and the New Mexico State Senate, what you find in the House of Representatives is that there are 45 Democrats and 25 Republicans. And in the Senate, there are 27 Democrats and 14 Republicans. So you're going to need a large majority of Democrats to cross party lines and vote to impeach the governor that's in the same political party as them. The likelihood of that occurring, again, is somewhere between slim and none. But am I saying that this is completely futile and a waste of time? Not at all, because a message needs to be sent to this governor, as well as any other executives in any other state, that when you, through executive fiat and executive action, determine that you know what's best for your citizens, and will trample on otherwise inalienable rights to further a political agenda, well, you are no longer fit to be serving in office. And so I applaud Representatives Black and Lord in New Mexico for doing this. I applaud anybody who's willing to sign this petition and push it forward. I do not believe that your efforts will be successful, but a message needs to be sent not only to this governor, but to politicians everywhere that we're simply not going to stand for these grotesque infringements upon our otherwise inalienable rights. We will keep you posted about what happens in New Mexico. There's probably a lot more that's going to bubble up here in the next few days, and so it's the gift that keeps on giving. If you have any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is right down there in the description box. We will also put all of the information so that you can sign the petition and all that down there in the description box as well. In the meantime, let's everyone remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about here all the time, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.